Well, hello there, everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is so great to be with you on the Inspirations for Your Life show. Thanks so much for popping in. If this is your very first time here, I want to take the opportunity to say welcome and thanks for joining me. If you've been here one time, two times, five, 100, or even more, I want to say thank you, but I also want to say something else to you. I want to say welcome back. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate people that like the content and want to keep growing and becoming better versions of themselves. If you're hungry or thirsty, feel free to get an RO water like I got here, or also got a decaf cup of hot tea, which is still nice and hot. Or feel free to get a snack or something else, and come on back to the show, and we'll kick this off. Don't forget to check out, ladies and gentlemen, believemeachieve.com. Of course, more of my amazing, inspiring creations, which you can do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is after the show is over. All right, guys, let's get right into the show. So this is Inspirations for Your Life. And I'm so happy to be with you guys. Yes, I'm John C. Morley. In case you didn't know, I'm a serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, passionate lifelong learner, and now very grateful to be a published author. All right, guys, let's dive in, shall we? So, how focus shapes daily performance is what we're talking about. And that's what we're about today. And this is basically series 5, show 20, episode number 4. The episode of Inspirations for Your Life explores how attention directly shapes execution, clarity, energy, and real world performance. When focus is stable, work becomes easier, decisions become clearer, and results become, yes, more consistent. When attention is scattered, even simple tasks feel heavier and harder and less controlled. So today, I want to break down how attention drives performance in real time. I think this is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and often why they're probably not happy about, where they are in life. And you see, you can make changes. If you're not happy with where you are in life, you actually can make changes anytime you want. Okay. But you have to do it intentionally. That is the most important thing. So, number one, guys, execution depends on clarity. Without clarity, execution becomes muddied, uncertain, and inconsistent, and can't go anywhere. So, focus controls accuracy. The sharper your attention, the fewer mistakes you make. Number 3, attention drives performance. Attention drives performance. So, that's important to know. Where focus goes, results immediately follow. When I say immediately, it's not going to be that day, but it will be eventually. Okay, it will take you some time, but it will actually get you to a point where you're going to be like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. This is really neat. And so I can tell you guys that it's important to understand, what's going on and why things are going away a certain way. I think a lot of people don't really get the fact of what's going on, and then they wonder why stuff is a mess. And it's because of, it's because of their own inner stuff. Okay. And when you realize that it's your own stuff, you're like, well, wait a minute. I can change this. I can fix this. And the truth of the matter, guys, you really can fix it, but you might not be able to do it today. Okay. That's probably the thing I want to share with you. You might not be able to do it today, but you are going to be able to do it, and you are going to be able to change. Number 4, guys. Distraction reduces output. Every interruption breaks momentum and weakens progress. And a lot of people don't understand, what's going on. But when that happens, it puts a lot of people in the disarray. They're like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. And it shouldn't do that. It should be teaching you a lesson to say, wait, but I can do this. I can do this. But you have to understand, you have to have faith, and you have to have strong belief in yourself. That's really important. Number 5 is a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, work reflects thinking quality. You're not happy with your work? Well, it's probably the quality of your thinking. You're probably not, doing something solely. You're trying to multitask. Clear thinking produces stronger execution outcomes. Clear thinking. That's more relaxed, easygoing thinking, not pressured thinking. Number 6, guys, clarity improves execution. Better understanding leads to faster and cleaner action. Okay, that's an important thing, guys. It does. But again, it does not happen overnight. And if you're thinking it's going to happen overnight, well, you're going to be sadly mistaken and you're going to be a little bit disappointed, to be quite honest with you. All right. Number 7, focus increases speed. Stable attention removes hesitation and delays. Decisions become cleaner, less mental. Noise leads to stronger judgment. Output follows, number 9, attention. So your results are a mirror of your focus level. Now, we never talked about level before, but level is just a way of saying quality, right? If you're not happy with what you're getting, there's a good shot that you're probably not in a good level. You're probably not clear enough. And what happens is you get distractions around you, and those distractions prevent you from focusing on something clearly. Maybe you've worked on something and maybe somebody was bothering you and you kept getting it wrong, right? When you focus on something, not hard, just focus on it, and you have nothing else in your mind, you'll find that you can be more productive and you can be more efficient. But not only that, you can get things correct the first time. Number 10, guys, stability improves reliability. When we're stable, we become more reliable. Consistent attention creates consistent performance, right? You don't do it once and say, oh my gosh, this is what I've got. Number 11, execution becomes more predictable. Structured focus leads to repeatable outcomes. And I think when we understand that our outcomes can be repeated over and over again, it's like, okay, now I finally get it. Now I know what's going on. Now I know why something's working or why something is not working. Okay. I think that's a very important thing. But some people, again, they get caught in the weeds and are like, I can't do this. That's what they basically say. I can't do this. And as soon as you say you can't do this, well, as Henry Ford said, if you say it, you're right. If you say you can, you're also right. Number 12, guys, attention reduces errors, right? Just because you're doing something, you're being efficient, doesn't mean that you're not making mistakes. Fewer distractions mean fewer mistakes in execution, and thus more efficiency because now you don't have to redo everything. It's one thing to do things correctly. One thing to be efficient and do them wrong, well, that's a bad thing. Number 13, focus improves workflow. Tasks move more smoothly when attention is stable. And you'll find that natural progression, that natural flow becomes something pretty easy. And maybe you're saying to me, John, this happens to me once in a while, or it happens to me every year. And then you go down this pathway and you're like, how do I get out of this pathway? You're trying to do too many things and not be intentional. That's the real bottom line, guys. Number 14, clarity reduces confusion. So when we get clear, we actually erase confusion. Not overnight, but we make that window that was foggy, we slowly make it a little bit clearer until we can completely see outside. Clear thinking eliminates hesitation in action. But clear thinking is not something that just, poofs out of the sky. I had a moment tonight, which I want to share with you guys. So I was preparing for one of my keynotes. And it was all ready to go, pretty much just doing some final polishing on the slides. And I had an epiphany moment where the presentation became so real when I started putting the elements together, it was as if I was actually on stage. And that didn't happen overnight. That happened by an awareness that my brain finally caught up with. Number 15, guys, performance improves with focus. Strong attention directly improves output quality. The output quality. Quality is another word for thinking about the correctness, right? How correct is something? I think that's important to know. If you spend all this time and you do things wrong, maybe you're working in a factory or you're working on a project and everything you did was wrong, that's a big problem. Number 16, guys, distraction creates delays. Every interruption slows down progress significantly. Number 17, attention improves structure. Attention improves structure. When we have structure and we have consistency, we have success. We repeat a pattern over and over again, we're going to get the same results. Now, if it's not yielding us results and we keep doing it, well, that's insanity. So we don't want to do that over and over again. So organized thinking leads to organized execution. Pretty straightforward. But how do you get organized when you're a mess? Well, I think the easiest way to do that is to break things into micro components or into smaller steps. And when you do that, it's like you're able to look at just a part of it, right? Maybe you worked on a huge, maybe 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. To do all that overnight is impossible. But if you do a piece of it at a time, it becomes manageable. Number 18, guys, execution reflects mindset. The way we execute, the way we act reflects our mindset. Your internal focus determines your external results. So the way you think about yourself, the way you believe about yourself is going to affect how you act in real life. If you're like, oh, that's not me, it is. It is you, but you have to realize that sometimes things don't go the way you want. So you have to analyze and say, gee, why did this go the way? How can I make that? How can I make that be better next time? Not to criticize it, but say, gee, how can I become just a little bit better this time at it? I mean, how can I actually do that? So I think that's an important thing to definitely realize. Number 19, focus improves consistency. When we focus, and I don't mean squinting really hard and putting a lot of stress on yourself, just focusing lightly. Stable attention creates repeatable performance. It's a formula, guys. And so when we learn how to do something right, we want to do that again. We know how to bake cookies a certain way and we like it, or a cake. We say the recipe and we could do it over and over and over again. And by us doing it over and over again, you know what happens? We can repeat the process. Number 20, guys, clarity improves decision making. So when we're clear, we're able to make decisions about something, without getting all, let's say, messed up or entangled. Like the realization I had tonight, that happened to me because of the work I was putting in and because of all my other skills. They kind of linked up and wait a minute, this actually makes sense now. This makes sense. Number 21. Energy follows attention. Where focus goes, our mental energy flows. Okay? It flows. I think that's a very, important thing to realize. Number 22, guys, fragmentation reduces efficiency. We've learned this with hard disks and SSDs. Fragmented drives and files, they're not efficient. Okay. Scattered thinking weakens our productivity. So we need to stop the scattered thinking right now. Number 23, focus improves problem solving. So clear attention reveals better solutions. But I don't want you to think that, just thinking clearly one time is going to get you a solution. It doesn't. It takes time for you to actually figure stuff out. That's what really happens. It takes time for you to figure stuff out. And when you can figure stuff out, that's when you can have these epiphanies. You can have these amazing moments. Okay. I think that's a very important thing to understand, because that's key. Right? I think that's key. And sometimes people get lost in where they are. And then they don't know what to do. And that can kind of cause people to go into a certain state, a state that makes them depressed, a state that says, hey, I can't do anything. But the truth of the matter is you can do things when you're clear. But so many people I know want to get, the front porch and the back porch and everything all in the same breath. What we have to do is we have to just become aware of things. We need to become aware of things. And by becoming aware, life changes. Life changes. And life changes because of one reason. Because now you're looking at things differently. And when you look at things differently, your life changes. And that means your actions change. Your actions changed. And by your actions changing, you could say, you know what? Now I'm a different person. Your awareness alone, ladies and gentlemen, will make you a totally different person. When you're aware of what happened, you're like, wait a minute, this makes sense. I can do this. Okay. But too many people get hung up in the, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not enough of this, I'm not enough of that. And they really just put themselves into this panic. It's amazing, right? I know that a lot of people out there feel that they should get the answers immediately. But true, genuine answers don't come in a flash. They come in time. We have a slow realization of where we are and how that awareness is now changing us to where we could go. Where we could go. And when I think about where we could go, the biggest thing I could tell you is if you're not happy where you are right now, there's a couple reasons for it. One, it's your belief, but it's also the energy that you're putting out. So the energy that you're putting out is actually affecting who you are every single day of your life. And if you don't like that, you can change that right now. But the results are not going to change tomorrow. It's going to take some time. It could take 30 days, could take more. It's got to kind of work through a process. Number 24, guys, execution improves with practice. A lot of people don't want to put the time in. They don't want to execute things. They don't want to do things like over and over again. They don't want to get better. So practice doesn't make anything perfect. I want to tell you that. A mentor told me this many years ago. John, practice does not make things perfect. It makes us better. When I played soccer for one of the best regional teams in Jersey, when I was younger, he said to me, John, he says, we don't practice to become perfect. Well, why do we practice? We practice because we have to get better. We could always be better. Some people are not humble enough to understand that. Repeated focus strengthens performance habits. When we strengthen our performance habits, it's like we do it almost without thinking. And it becomes natural in the way that we are every day. But I know a lot of people that say, I've done this, but this isn't working. And the reason it's not working, I'll tell you why. It's because of your belief. Your belief. You could change your belief immediately, but that would not mean that you're going to go somewhere tomorrow. Okay? You may not go somewhere tomorrow. And I can tell you that frustrates a lot of people that they're not going somewhere tomorrow. Okay? Knowing that you're on a path to become better every day, I think should be a good thing to help you move forward, to become a little better than you were yesterday. People want to become the best tomorrow, and that's not realistic. We have to get a little bit better. And over time, the little better, eventually we start saying, wait a minute, there's huge, huge differences. Right? Number 25, guys. Attention reduces our overload. I'm not saying stress, anxiety, attention. I'm saying attention that we have, light attention, reduces overload. And control focus, not this maniac focus that's going to give us a headache, all right, prevents mental exhaustion. Mental exhaustion. And when you start to realize that, you say, wait a minute, I have the power to control if I get overloaded. Yes, you do. Controlling your focus will prevent mental exhaustion, something people do not want to feel. Number 26, guys. Stability improves output quality. Calm attention produces better results. I didn't say the best results. I said better results. And the more that we take something, the more that we refine it, the more that it gets better, 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 and better. That's an important one. Number 27. Focus strengthens control. You gain more command over your actions. But people think they can just harness the wheel overnight and become a marksman, a top skipper, right? A pilot overnight. This domain is new to people. You can't expect to just learn it in a fraction. You've got to be humble and you got to be willing to learn. That's something that a lot of people in this world are not, because they have a very big ego up here. And they'd rather show that big ego and how they're so, well, falsely powerful, that they'll feed the ego before they feed their humility. Number 28, guys. Execution becomes smoother. Less mental resistance improves flow. When we go with the flow, things are easier. Things become more creative. They become more relaxed. They become more aligned with our core values. Number 29, guys. Attention defines performance. Let me say that again. Attention defines performance. Attention defines performance. Maybe you've heard something like that before, but it really does. Your results, ladies and gentlemen, depend on your focus habits. So these are important things to understand. Okay? When we understand this, life changes. Life changes. And I say life changes because now you have this epiphany moment. You have this mental and physical awareness of where your body is at in proportion to life. A good way to define this to you is we talk about our body with proprioception, right? If I close my eyes, don't do this if you're driving, and I put my hand up here and high in the sky. And I close my eyes, I can tell my hand is up here. If I move my hand down to my waist, I can also tell my hand is at my waist. I go to my eyes. I can tell by the proprioception. I can tell by that. And so the more that we get to understand our environment, the more that we get to understand our output and how we can be kind to ourselves to alter or change that output, the more that we actually do change the output. Okay? That's important to know. Very, very important to know. All right? Very, very important to know. And when you know that, life changes. Life changes. Life changes. Number 30, guys. Focus is the foundation of execution. But I don't want you to think that you need to focus so hard you get a headache. Focusing that hard is just going to get you frustrated. And it's going to get you to be less confident. It's going to get you fearful, which is not what you want. You want to build your confidence. Build your confidence. Build your confidence. Build your confidence. Okay? Build your confidence. Build your confidence. And so everything, ladies and gentlemen, you achieve starts there. It starts from the confidence that you built. Now, when you do something and you have, let's say, a feeling that you've done it right, the dopamine releases in your body. And it's like, okay, it anchors it. Yes, I've done it right. Now I could do it better next time, right? I could do it better next time. That's important. So, ladies and gentlemen, execution is not random. It is a direct reflection of the attention quality you put forth. When focus improves, performance does automatically. So all I'm asking you to do is to gently focus on what you want. And by you doing this over and over and over again, you will see that your performance will go up. But the problem is too many people are worrying about lunch, worrying about dinner, worrying about 5 million things, and they're not focusing on one thing. Then they wonder why their life is just fading away. It's because they're not becoming intentional with their moments. They're not becoming intentional. You don't need to work harder. You don't need to do more. You need to be intentional with the moments that you have in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and this has been Inspirations for Your Life. And I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that you have more power than you think if you just realize and you just start believing a little bit. That mustard seed of belief will grow and grow and grow and grow. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your evening. Check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Take care, everyone, and be well.